Hi Leo, welcome to your July and August 2017 Prosperity Report. It's Raina here. So before I begin, I just had this thought because I remember doing one of your readings. I can't remember if it was your tarot reading for I think it was like an update, or no, maybe it was just for July. And I was saying how excited I was for you because of some of the things I'm going to tell you about again, in case you didn't watch that particular video. And I got like a couple of comments that were kind of negative. And you know, that's par for the course, right? You know, when you're on YouTube, you have to be able to deal with that. But I just wanted to tell you that this isn't about me, even though it may seem like it is. It really is about embracing good in your life. And if something seems like impossible to believe because you've had a terrible run of things, that was kind of like the gist of one comment. I can sympathize with you, but I do believe that we create our own reality. Maybe not 100%, but even those things that seem fated, we might have chosen before this lifetime began. So we might not have chosen them now, but it's possible that we chose them before we came into this particular body and set of circumstances. So I don't really feel that it's helpful to look at the past as any kind of marker for what's in your future. And when people focus too much on the past to prove to themselves that their life is always going to be crap, that is problematic in my opinion. And so you have the choice to embrace the good that comes your way, whether it's in the form of this message or whether it's in the form of people that come into your life, things that they say. You can choose to reject them and say, oh, that's not true, and scoff at them. But the problem is that then you just are kind of like perpetuating that negative cycle. And so that's where I kind of want to challenge people not to do that. And that is definitely within your control. Where you, and I see this, it's not just about me. I read other comments where people say, oh, I've had, you know, terrible things happen. This isn't true for me. I've had it happen for 5 years now. I've had these terrible things happen. And they really are like identifying with their victimhood. And it may be logical that they would, but it's not productive, okay? And that's all that I wanted to say about that, because actually, when I finished recording that video, I thought, gosh, Leo people are going to love this. And I was really, you know, taken aback that I got some negativity for that, because it wasn't warranted. It was like a positive thing. And sometimes people like get on you when you say something positive, like you're trying to, you know, you're trying to get their hopes up or something. And believe me, I don't try to get people's hopes up. I mean, I want to, but I don't always do that. Sometimes I'm, you know, I challenge people too, believe me. And then I get people saying that about on the other end of things. So anyway, I'm going to reiterate some of the things that I said in that video. I just think that Leo people in general have a very great lucky streak that is set to begin. And obviously your individual horoscope is going to vary from what I'm talking about, because you might have a different degree. The timing could be different and all that. I am keeping it broad, but we have 2 new moons in Leo. One in July at 0 degrees of Leo on the 23rd, and then in August it's a solar eclipse new moon, which is a very powerful new moon, and that one is at 28 degrees of Leo. So that in itself, being 2 new moons in 1 month, is unusual. That should give you a little bit of pause. And then you have the North Node in your sign as well. The North Node is in Leo for 18 months, and that is the soul's mission. But this is a collective thing because this is the transiting North Node. All of us have natal North Nodes, and that's what the personal chart shows. But this transiting North Node in your sign, that's a conjunction with your sun sign or rising sign. I should always say that this is also for rising signs. So if you're rising sign Leo, this is for you too. But that can be very serendipitous in some way. Okay. In addition to that, during July and August, Mars is in Leo. Actually, Mars goes into Leo on the 21st of July. Before that, it's in Cancer, and that is your 12th house. It's not, you know, when somebody has their 12th, Mars in their 12th house, it's not necessarily the most pleasant thing because it feels a little bit constrictive, okay? So I can understand how someone might feel with this combination, for sure. But regardless, the 12th house, to have Mars there, you can kind of utilize that by really practicing physical meditation, I would call it, because Mars is physical, but it's in the 12th house, which is spiritual. So anything that kind of aligns your chakras or, you know, gives you a sense of like the energy flow, Kundalini, I don't know, do you pronounce it ki? It's spelled like chi, but it's probably pronounced ki. Anything, the life force energy. So that would be Qigong, Tai Chi, and Hatha Yoga. That might be very beneficial for you and therapeutic. But when Mars goes into your sign, it's like you're ready to take on the world. So you're going to have Venus in Cancer. That's your 12th house on the 31st. For most of the month, you're going to actually have Venus in Gemini. And Venus in Gemini is your 11th house of hopes and wishes. I really think you guys have it all because the 11th house is the luckiest house and Venus can bring money, harmony to it. So some of you may find that you're gifted with money to be able to make a dream that you've held for a long time in your heart come true. And with all of this other stuff going on, it just seems like it's very positive. When Venus goes into your 12th house, it may be more of a karmic situation, especially with love. But who knows? Maybe even with money. Maybe some kind of thing that you were owed from another lifetime of good deeds. It comes to you in the form of some money. You know, I think of the tarot when they describe the money coming from the clouds, you know, like the Ace of Pentacles. So who knows? But speaking of Ace of Pentacles, I'm going to pick some cards for you that deal with your financial and career situations. So here I go. I hardly ever pick reverse cards anymore. That's kind of interesting. Okay. And then I'm going to pick one from this is from my Earth Magic deck. I'm glad to be, really utilizing these decks, so instead of them collecting dust. Meadow, vulnerability. And this is from the Wisdom of the Oracle. Okay, interesting. I picked this as a reverse card. Mending, 52. And I've been getting that card over and over again. But this, I got two reverse cards. Very interesting. Okay, so let's begin. In the past position, we get the King of Cups. This could be a boss who's very sympathetic, who treats his workers with a fatherly kind of demeanor. This could be somebody who is a counselor, if you go to those, somebody like this, or even like if you're in a church, like a priest or a pastor that you have consulted. And this could have to do with career matters, whether they're good or bad or indifferent. Maybe it's just a career counselor who understands, or a psychic. I do tend to assign gender because the court cards tend to speak about specific people. So this could be a male water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or they just have a very caring way about them, but they would tend to be of the, you know, I was going to say the superior position, the, what do you call that? The supervisory, someone above you in rank, if it's in a company, for instance. But it's like having a really sympathetic boss. Now, I feel like for some of you, this may be your actual boss, and the person is sympathetic because they understand that you want to maybe go out on your own. This is a card of expansion. This could even be traveling, foreign travel, and it's possible that this person is facilitating this for you so that you're able to expand your horizons. But this could be an entrepreneurial card. And you may have even been a little bit torn because you have such a wonderful boss. But this person wants you to be happy and is willing to let you go. Obviously, there are more interpretations than that, and this may not resonate with some of you. But this, let's take the cards. We don't have to make it too exact. We'll just like look at the themes of this. In the past, I mean, some of you might have been the King of Cups, and it might be that you were this sympathetic boss to other people, this good leader, but now you want to, and you might have worked in a company and you want to strike out on your own. So you might have been very good at what you do, but that still was, there was something calling you to go even further. And so now you have kind of expanded your horizons. And this could involve foreign travel, as I said. The number 3 is the number of creativity and expansion. So we have the fire element with wands. And people with the fire element, and you are fire, want to be creative, and they want to always grow. They always want to experience new horizons and new, you know, new things in front of them, wide open spaces. The outcome is represented by the Page of Swords in reverse. What this could mean, and I think this is a cautionary tale, is that you, if this is how you feel, you want to make sure that anything that maybe you've had some kind of an offer, that it is not something that you just take without investigating, because you could find that someone is presenting you with this, you hear those birds? They're so loud. It's pretty, but it's kind of distracting. Somebody may be presenting you with this kind of glowing offer, and it may not be what it appears to be. So, you know, like all that glitters may not be gold. So you might have to really investigate on your own. Actually, the Page of Swords is about being, you know, savvy in that way, and exploring something, spying, you know, researching to make sure that you know the truth about a situation. But in the reverse position, it might be that if you're too hasty, you won't see what is really happening. You won't see the truth of the situation. I'm going to pick an additional card. This is the Seven of Cups in reverse, and this card indicates that you may see the situation in a, I would say in a more, you'll find out the truth of a situation. This is connected to Neptune. It's very interesting because Neptune is in retrograde right now, and so let's see, Neptune is in Pisces. I think that's your, let's see, isn't that your 8th house? I think that's your 8th house. Or am I wrong about that? Yeah, I think that's your 8th house because your opposite sign is Aquarius, so that would be your 8th house. You know, it's funny too because with the Page of Swords, Mercury is going to be retrograde. That might be talking about that too, and I should have mentioned that. Mercury is going to be retrograding from August 12th until September 5th. So maybe it's saying during that period of time, be very careful about, you know, starting a new venture, because that might lead to complications. Okay, and so the 7 of Cups is just about seeing things as they really are. Sometimes it can be about things being even more confusing, but in the reverse position, I tend to read it as letting go of those illusions. Illusions that are kind of keeping you in that state of indecision if you have to decide to do something. Okay, so we're going to look at the Meadow card. Now, you know, I was thinking, you know, why am I getting 2 reverse cards for Leo? Well, in August, this is when we have that Mercury retrograde, and it's during Leo. Also, Mercury will be dipping back into Leo. It's going to retrograde in the sign of Virgo, which will be in your 2nd house. So, oh yeah, I should have mentioned that, because when Mercury retrogrades on the 12th of August, it will be in your 2nd house of earned income, and it will dip back into your sign. So I would say if you have any kind of snafus with your income, and it might be for a new job or blah, 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 whatever it is, it's just temporary, and look to the middle to later part of September for things to really balance out. Mercury will go direct on the 5th of September, but, you know, it will still be in a late degree of Leo. It won't be out of its shadow until later in the month, okay? So let me look at vulnerability here. The Meadow in this card invites us well, I'm just going to read. I'm just going to read I'm not going to read the description because it's just all like superfluous. You are in a place now where you can take risks with your feelings, and even more important, take risks with the truth of who you are, the truth you know in your heart and soul. You no longer need to be subjected to your conditioned fears of letting others know who you really are. Yes, others may judge, evaluate, criticize, and perhaps even put you down. These are very real possibilities. Yet by trusting that you have the strength to deal with these reactions, rather than responding adaptively and always playing it safe, you can more confidently allow yourself to be vulnerable. Always holding back from expressing your truth can create an illusion of safety, but armed with your trust and your faith, you can choose to be vulnerable and share your authentic self with the world. I think with Leo, sometimes there's a tendency to fight fire with fire, you know. And, you know, I'm a Sagittarian, fire signs, we tend to be like that. We tend to be like, you do this to me, I'll do this to you. Or like, you know, even just, it doesn't have to be anything else but just verbal. But sometimes it's good to, rather than take that posture, is to say, it's just to state how you feel and say, wow, that really is hurtful. You know, why did you feel the need to do that? And just kind of question them and find out where they're coming from. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get an answer, but at least you can show that these kinds of, you know, behaviors have consequences, that they do hurt other people. And a lot of times Leo is very concerned about their image. And you do want to appear like maybe you do want to appear like you're invulnerable, like you're strong at all times. But it's not weak to express when you're hurt. That's not weak. And you might, really understand what motivates people to do what they do. So now I'm going to bring up this one, mending, and I've said I keep getting this card. I think it has to do with forgiveness, if I'm not mistaken. And if it does, I'm interested to know the reversed position. They call it a protection message, actually. Yeah, the essential meaning is forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. Okay, so the protection message is actually the reverse message. And it says, heartbreak is a strange healer of souls. Our grief strips away our masks and loosens our tight hold on our separateness, where we view ourselves as I and the world as it. Loss allows us to see ourselves as part of a larger scheme, opening us up to sympathy, empathy, and dependence on others in the moment when we can't hold ourselves together. And it leads us to become one with the greater whole again. Pain and suffering is part of life, and none of us will be immune to it. Can you view this loss, this pain, this dissonance as a way back to source? Let your sorrow break your heart wide open. You will never be left behind. You are loved, now more than ever, by Spirit who does not want you to feel alone. One day you will look back and know this truth. Okay, I'm not going to tie this in with these other cards. This would be something probably that has happened to you in the past. And being a fixed sign, a sign like Leo, can hold on to things longer than they should, and it can really affect you. But I will tie it to that card of vulnerability, because it's possible that some of you, if you have had a sad, maybe even tragic situation, that you haven't really shared it with others. And if that's the case, that would be a good thing. You don't have to ask anything of other people. That's, sometimes people use their tragedy, and it doesn't have to be that big of a tragedy, as a manipulation too, to get attention, to do that. It's just about being you and being open and being, authentic. And I think that really attracts others to have more faith and trust in you, because they know that you're not fronting. They know that you're not trying to be something that you're really not. And I think it really lets go of, like we talk about the energy imbalances. I think that can really heal people of these kinds of things too. So I hope you enjoyed this, Leo. And again, I'm telling you, this is your time. So embrace it. And if you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, good luck to you and have a great couple of months. Bye.